Everybody, I wanted to come back and do a second late morning update as I've been studying the XLM pattern, and as we know, it moved 110% when XRP moved about 94% before the retracement, and now XLM is up better than 6.6% on the day, but it's very apparent to me that it's fallen into what looks like a broadening wedge. So this is going to be very interesting. It's mimicking Bitcoin's pattern in a sense, but we'll see. After we fell down and it looks like we're in a bear flag in the short term on the consolidation, it now looks like it's formed into a broadening wedge, and we'll look at the breakout point. As broadening wedges, as we know from her history, are neutral continuation patterns. So it's neither a bullish nor bearish pattern, but if you break down or break out, it's going to be a very big it's going to either be a parabolic spike or it's going to be a substantial liquidation. So right now we're coming back up to the top of the broadening wedge, and I'm going to show you why this is very convincingly a broadening wedge now that XLM's formed into. And in the comments, if you disagree, please don't hesitate and let me know. But this is what it appears to be in the immediate short term after we pumped out. So this broadening wedge formed just like in Bitcoin, as I talked about. And if it does break out of this, we've got a substantial rise that can happen. Obviously, if it falls down, we would have to have that same move. But the broadening wedge, after a breakout like we were on during the consolidation, is not necessarily bearish. This could be signaling a further move ahead. So make sure you use positivity over negativity. It's our job to use that positivity over negativity. And if we play the winners and not the victim, we can get a lot more information as the days go on. And right now we're going to focus on XLM, as my son's got to go to his therapy at 12:30 for his femur, as you guys know, on his leg. When he was 6 months old, he just turned 4, but when he was 6 months old, he got into a very serious car accident with his mom. Not her fault, but nonetheless, he's still recovering from that. So it is what it is. We deal with it, and we show him a lot of positivity along the way. Make sure you hit that like button, as it'll greatly help push me through the analytics. And in your own personal life, remember, we all go through a struggle every single day, but at the end of it, we have to come out stronger. We are what we put into it, and our character is truly built when we're in the worst of times, because then when you're going through the least stressful times in life, it's that much easier to cope. Because when you're going through the, let's just say the downfalls that can happen on a day-to-day basis, you have to come out the other side stronger. If you have that mental power to continue moving on, continue pushing forward, nobody can stop you. Good morning, 11:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So when I was looking at the XLM chart, this is what I started to see. Let me match this up because I didn't have it perfect, but now that I'm showing it to everybody, we really should have it lined up better. It's like that. And some people are like, it's so minute the way you move it. It might be minute, but if you're trying to get the exact target on these spikes, we've got to have it within a similar. So right now we've got the top of the broadening wedge here in the short term. Right around, so we've got to break out on XLM right above 14.48 right now. So if we come out to the outside of the wedge, so we still got a little bit of room here. So you need 2 hits on each side of the on a broadening wedge. So support, but it came down in a bear flag fashion to start this wedge, which we could actually come down in a different fashion. But I think what happened here is we came down, formed support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. See how it's getting more volatile as it swings? It's said in a broadening wedge, each hit from support to resistance becomes much more volatile. So now, if we were to get a rejection up here, if this is the rejection, let's say we come back up here to 14, let's say 14.54, get rejected, then we would swing back down We'd be way down at about 12.35. So I mean, that would be a big swing out. Conversely, if you break this broadening wedge out to the top side, you're going to be coming back up here. We would be coming back up to a retest. But this is the short-term pattern formation that's formed. And it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because if this breaks bearish, we're going to measure it by this bear flag just so we can get some kind of technical target out of here. Whether it goes bullish or bearish, it's good to have both sides of the formation. Some people will measure the broadening wedge, which is fine, but I'm going to show you something. Oops. And it's actually pretty neat once you see it. So that's the bear flag. Well, if you look at the top to the bottom of the broadening wedge, it measures out basically the same. So when they say they're going to measure out the wedge here, you're getting the same measurement, FYI. And that happens because you're going to get the volatility. And there's a lot of volatility in the bear flag. So that broadening wedge should open up to a similar size. So that's why some people say they measure the end of the wedge. But we don't know how far it's going to go yet. So if we break to the top side, that's just something I've noticed. I could be completely full of garbage. I'm not a financial advisor, and I actually taught myself how to do technical analysis over the years. So some things that I interpret are just things that I've learned. That's why nobody can duplicate my technical analysis. Nor should they try. And then a technical breakdown here. If we broke out of the wedge, let's get rid of some of these numbers now that we broke out of the lower ones. We gotta have real numbers here that are gonna. I like to update the charts in front of everybody so you can see what I'm doing. All right. So on a technical breakdown, that 12.06 is that support, which was there from before, and it just so happens to line up with the bottom of the broadening wedge, which is kind of funny, actually. Not funny, but it actually helps confirm what we're seeing. So a breakdown, on a breakdown, XLM would fall. Let's see how far that is. If we were to break down on the broadening wedge, because we have to do our due diligence, 21.7% drop to the bottom of the broadening wedge. Conversely, if this is the start of a breakout here, a breakout from here would get you up to that 17.3 level. So 17.3, if XLM breaks up, it would be looking at, we're looking at a 20% pump or a 20% dump is what it comes down to. If XLM pumps out of here, we're looking at a 20% move. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, make sure you hit that like button. Consider joining Tom's Army and subscribe to the channel if you appreciate the time I put in. If you want to send a donation or join Tom's Army, the only way to do that is to send a YouTube super chat and or join Tom's Army. But all I care about is you get this information and you do with it what you see fit. And remember, positivity over negativity. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, but this is what I think we've uncovered with XLM. A broadening wedge with potential up to 17.3, or if it were to break down, it could get us down to the 9.6 level.